Kingsglaive is a hot mess. I hate saying the name, Kingsglaive. Kingsglaive, it feels wrong in my mouth. My expectations for this film were very low. Video game movies are notoriously bad. Final Fantasy in particular hasn't been the greatest for film, despite Square's impeccable skill when it comes to cutscenes. The look is there, but the narrative isn't. The Spirits Within and Advent Children weren't exactly mind-blowing, and neither is Kingsglaive. Ugh, it feels wrong to say it. I'm not saying it anymore, I refuse. The only reason this movie existed to begin with was to avoid having to make multiple games to cover the story of Final Fantasy 15. This movie was not a passion project, it wasn't someone's dream, it just was. That's not to say a lot of work didn't go into it, but it does say something for the quality of the final product. Especially when the story of Final Fantasy 15 was a colossal mess, despite having so much content to cover it. Unlike the video game,
Kingsglaive
is actually a somewhat cohesive story. It's just not a very good one. I have a lot to say about this film, so I'm going to critique the entire thing from start to finish. So obviously, spoilers. If you've seen my Final Fantasy 15 video, you probably already saw that coming. Touché. Without further ado,
for centuries, the sacred magic of the divine crystal blessed our world and its people.
the film opens with narration. It wasn't enough to have an entire feature-length film precede the video game in order for it to make sense. They needed the film to start with a narrated introduction for the film itself to make sense. That's far more exposition than anyone could possibly want. On top of that, they introduced Lucis, Niflheim, Tenebrae, Insomnia, Noctis, King Regis, Ravus, and Lunafreya within 2 minutes. This is what I like to call Final Fantasy XIII syndrome, also known as too many names at once. Basically, Lucis and Niflheim are at war. Insomnia is the crown city of Lucis and has a big old protective barrier that the king generates with a chunky magic crystal and a ring. They stop in Tenebrae for Noctis to recover from an injury, and Niflheim ambushes them. But what I want to know is how no one saw those massive dropships coming. They surely have outposts and means of communication for when an emergency arises. They couldn't give the royal family some warning. Anyway, baby Ravus gets clipped, and then watches his mother get crisped and skewered like a sexy piece of meat. King Dad is fighting the big bad. King Dad wins and gets a move on. He grabs Noctis and Luna, leaving Ravus to die.
Am I a joke to you?
You have guns! Why are you running? Just shoot them! The narration says this attack was an attempt on the lives of Lucian royalty. Just shoot them! Nah, fuck it, she's not my kid. Somehow, King Dad and the Cripple Boy escape. It makes zero sense that they didn't get shot, so we skip 12 years into the future. Let's just gloss over it, shall we?
What? Yes. What is it good for?
Absolutely a chance to rip off Starship Troopers.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
Oh look, a good boy.
How is this fair?
It's fair because you're a marine at war. Your job is to fight the enemy. The enemy is composed of giant insects, monsters, and robots. It's fair because war is consistently unfair. Get a grip or get off the battlefield. You remind me of that SWAT team operative from The Dark Knight.
I didn't sign up for this!
Yes, you did. You're in the SWAT team. You signed up for potentially deadly missions. Get a grip or get off the battlefield. You're both idiots.
Nix, I owe you one.
Wait a second. If the behemoth was that easy to kill, you wouldn't have said, "How is this fair?" Or you would have reacted more to that insanely quick kill. At least more than Nix, I owe you one. Here we meet the main boy, Nix, played by Aaron Paul, which is an interesting choice. Great in Breaking Bad, not so great in this. The casting for this film is an odd one. Lena Headey, Sean Bean, and of course, Aaron Paul. None of them voice these characters in the game, so their being in the film is nothing more than a name drop, sacrificing continuity for the sake of advertising. And here you get to see my favourite thing about this movie. Editing. That wasn't me, that's actually how the film looks. Stunning CGI ruined by an excessive number of cuts. Big storm, big doggo, big robot. So the robot starts blasting, which just goes to show how hardcore the Empire are. Keep that in mind for later on. How thick are these guys? You can teleport. Why are you running? You let this happen. Jesus Christ, the editing in this film, it makes it really hard to know what the fuck's going on. Hold up. When this guy was trapped under the rock, Cerberus didn't hesitate to charge right at him, even with Nyx playing defense. But now that both men are vulnerable, it just stands there doing nothing. Neither of them would be ready to fight back if it were to charge now. Why is it just standing there? And of course, the unstable ground falls to pieces just in time for them to escape. How convenient. Ooh, big scary robot time. Actually, no. Let's cut to black, skip the whole scene with no explanation, and just gloss over it with
A sudden and inexplicable retreat.
yeah, that sounds about right. This maneuver still makes no sense to me, and I've seen the movie and played the game. It is so stupid. Ow. Fucking, why do I always hurt myself every video? Anyway, a messenger from the Empire has come to speak with the king. It's Cage! For anyone who didn't see the Final Fantasy XV video, he looks just like Nicolas Cage in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, so we call him Cage.
Arden Izunia, Chancellor of Niflheim, at your humble service.
I kinda like Cage, he's fat and sassy. Cage explains that the retreat was because they wanted to give Lucis the chance to bend the knee to the Empire and avoid being slaughtered. The Empire would then take over Insomnia, and the King's son would marry Princess Lunafreya from the Prologue. But why? Like, why though? This makes no sense. Niflheim had Lucis on the run. They have big old demon dogs and Pacific Rim job robots tearing it up. Lucis does not stand a chance. Why go to the trouble of doing this whole bit? Even if you know where the story goes in the end, this bit is still really stupid. Just annihilate them on the battlefield and save us 2 hours.
Hey, rough down the gate, Hugglaive.
His line delivery is so bad, it's actually impressive.
You jerk. It's your fault he got stuck there.
They're all just awful.
Not a very nice welcome for a big hero.
Not a very nice outfit for one either.
I think it brings out my eyes.
You can tell they're trying to make it seem like these characters have chemistry when they clearly don't. 17 minutes in, and not one character is even remotely likable. Except Cage, if you like fat and sassy.
Hey, Libertas, you thank Nyx for saving your life yet?
Ah, come on, Crowe.
They really want to reinforce the names here. The characters are that forgettable that they have to remind you of their names in every conversation.
Nyx and I are too close for that. He helps me, I help him. That's the way it's always been.
Looks like you got a little help from something else, huh?
I need all I can get.
Are we genuinely including drug addiction in this plot? What relevance does it have to the story? Does it add anything at all? No, leave it on the bench.
Fight all you want. Just don't go dying yet. I still owe you. A lot.
Where would the glaive be without its hero?
Why say that so spitefully? He saved your ass twice. You said I owe you one several times. What is wrong with you? I do not like you, guy. This next scene is really boring. To summarize, the king is weak and can't maintain the big safety wall. That's it. It takes them 80 seconds to say that in the most boring way possible.
Things were hectic in the capital today as the Lucian government announced full acceptance of what some are criticizing as the unilateral peace terms proposed by Chancellor Izunia of Niflheim.
Oh, come on, what even is this? If I wanted politics, I'd watch the Star Wars prequels.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
Anyway, Crowe gets sent off to infiltrate Tenebrae, and Nyx gets reassigned to the castle guard. Meanwhile...
Must you go? Yes.
Gripping! So Ravis shows up, that's Luna's brother, and says she can't leave until they go to Lucis for the wedding, but she thinks there's ulterior motives.
What you believe does not concern me. What does concern me is you sneaking off to go and tell our mother's killer about some plot you've dreamt up.
How did Ravis become convinced that the king was at fault for their mother's death? He saw Niflheim kill her. They stabbed her right through her delicious jibs. Her juices were on his face. Wait, let me rephrase that. Her blood was all over his jibs. If she had a bike, why did you drive her there? Couldn't the bike have done that? Ooh, spooky scary van. How do I know it's spooky scary? Because the music says it is.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
Dude, what the fuck were you watching? I hate this trope. Our main character has a tortured past, but we aren't going to show it to you, we're just going to look at a photograph and dub over it with echoey trauma dialogue trope. I'll work on a shorter name for it.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me
sad. For some reason that won't be shown in the movie. Anyway, Nyx and Titus take a drive to collect the princess. Titus mentions that the car they're driving in belongs to Prince Noctis, who's been taken outside the city. Keep that in mind for later on.
Open this gate now and maybe you'll have a job tomorrow.
King's orders.
Are you sure you want to risk a diplomatic issue now of all times?
What is this voice? Is this for real?
It is.
It has been a long time, Your Majesty.
Yes. Far too long.
This isn't Hedian being at their best, but they still do a pretty good job considering the material they're working with. And there goes a potentially interesting female character. Let's kill her off to serve the plot of other, less interesting characters.
That's my friend you got in there, damn it!
Sir, you can't go in until the examination is ended.
What examination? What the hell's going on?
Hey, why does this guy always sound like he's shouting quietly? You know when you want to imitate a shout in a quiet place, so you do that kind of fake shout? It sounds like he's doing that all the time.
These bastards rushed Crowe in there the moment she got back. And now they won't let me in to see her.
The line delivery is just wow. So this guy complains when they won't let him in to see her, but then he looks shocked when he finds her dead.
She's dead! Gone forever! Died a horrible, painful death!
Yeah, that's why they said no. They were likely just following the rules and were gonna let you down easy later on, but you just had to be a dick.
So what kind of mission did you really send her on? No glaive winds up dead on a standard escort.
Dude, come here, we need to have a talk. Escorts happen because people plan to murder the people being escorted. Of course, glaives can end up dead on a standard escort. You moron.
I still remember the first time I saw her. Scrawny little thing. All covered in dirt. But those eyes. Damn. There was something about those eyes.
This entire "I'm so sad that she's dead" speech is poorly written and poorly performed.
Liberis, wait. Crowe died a glaive. You can still honor her by fighting as one.
Don't you get it? Lucius killed Crowe.
How did he come to this conclusion? All because Crowe died on an escort mission. Clearly he's never played Resi 4. This scene is just old dudes exchanging pleasantries. Nothing worth talking about. What I would like to talk about is that thing on his arm. Is it a weapon? Because it's not a part of his jacket. He's attached it after the fact, so what is it? And why is he wearing it to a party? Anyway, these two also exchange pleasantries, but the music they chose for this scene is way too much.
May I ask your name?
Nyx Ulrich.
There's something else I wish to ask you, Nyx Ulrich.
This music is meant to be for big moments. I love it, but it doesn't fit such a casual conversation. Narcotic subplots that go nowhere.
Heard I could find some treaty haters here.
Welcome to the Resistance, brother.
Everything this character does feels pointless. I don't even know why he's in the movie. His role in this story is the worst part. They should have put more time into Crowe and removed this guy entirely. Anyway, when I first saw General Glauca in the prologue, I thought he looked a bit like a Dark Souls boss, but I didn't really know why. And then, if you can kind of see, if you just look right there.
General Glauca, why are you here?
You are far too clever to have ever believed in this peace.
Yes, let me reveal to you, the good guy, that I, the bad guy, am doing bad guy things. I have yet to actually do the things, but I'm going to tell you now anyway, giving you more time to prepare for when I, the bad guy, do the bad guy things. Even if your evil master plan is flawless, you should never tell the good guy what you're up to. It's just stupid. Oh no, Luna has gone missing. Whatever will I do? Nyx moves pretty fast when he finds out that Luna's gone, but I have no idea why the guards try to stop him even though he's clearly wearing a glaive uniform.
The ceremony must not be disturbed. Neutralize any threat quickly and quietly.
Good luck with that. You couldn't even stop one guy from walking calmly through the gate.
Stand down, Glaive.
once again, they just let him pass. Why is every guard in this film an absolute plank?
Your Majesty, please, give the order to deploy the glaive.
Plank, 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 plank.
Nix Ulrich. How soon can the Kingsglaive deploy?
On your word. At once.
The action sequences in this film are actually pretty cool when the editing isn't choppy as all hell. Ooh, more old man talk. How exciting. And they're fighting again. Why did you go to war, only to stop the war for a treaty to then continue the war? Why didn't you just crush them the first time you were winning? Hentai. It just wouldn't be Final Fantasy without a hentai monster. So they did all that to break down the shield from the inside, even though they were about to win the war anyway. Seems like overkill to me, but whatever.
Fall back, it's a trap.
Ah, curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
What's got into you?
A knife.
So Niflheim, aka the Big Bad, brought some of the
Kingsglaive
over to their side to betray Lucis. That's why they're all stabbing each other. What I don't get is how these glaives slaughter their old comrades with no sign of remorse. They didn't even try to bring them over to their side, not in any way that we could see. Which leads to another point. How did Niflheim only get to certain members of the glaive? How did they know who would choose to betray Lucis and who wouldn't? Why didn't they try to bring all of them to the dark side? Anyway, this guy's dying and he's taking everybody with him.
This is an explosion. More explosion. Big ol' exploding boom boom explosion. Explosion? Yes, explosion.
I would bet you good money that that's what Bowser's dick looks like. Oh look, the Knights of Ren. Now that's how you make an entrance. Why is there a Kraken on this ship? Has this Kraken been trained not to eat Luna? It swatted away and ate several soldiers but won't eat her. Oh, and how convenient that it couldn't kill Nyx. He was just too heavy to swat away with all that plot armor weighing him down. Seriously, what was the purpose of the random space Kraken? If you wanted the glaive dead and didn't care about Luna's safety, why didn't you just use her as a chance to sneak in the bombs, destroy the shield, and then drop your boys? You've made this way more complicated than it had to be. Yeah, no. Have you seen those heels? There is no way she can run in those, let alone run up scaffolding. It's Jurassic World all over again.
She can't run in those little high heels.
I don't even know what to say about this next part, so I'm just going to show you. I have no words. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Even for Final Fantasy, that's just absurd. This fight looks really weird. It feels like there's no weight to the characters as they move around and interact with each other. It feels weightless and fake. Obviously, it is weightless and fake, but it feels it and it shouldn't.
I dare say everything has proceeded according to plan.
How? This was your plan. Your plan was stupid. You're stupid.
Shall we take our leave then? The sun will soon set. We need not be here to witness the terrors of the night.
You need not be here at all, you dumb bitch. You could have had your robots do all of this. You have magic robots. You could have literally built a massive drill to dig your way underground and into the city. Anything else would have been more understandable than what you chose to do.
I do not fear death. What I fear is doing nothing and losing everything.
Oh, come on.
Here's a fun thought. If Nyx hadn't followed her at this moment, she would have fallen to her death. It's fun because it's fun in the way that it puts the fun in funeral. Anyway, Niflheim starts shooting everyone. I thought the whole point in this attack was to overthrow and annex Lucis, but apparently the whole point in this attack was to murder everyone. A hostile takeover should be just that, a takeover, not the murder of innocent civilians. I know I'm arguing the logic of tyrants and tyranny and other words that start with t, but still.
You have the crystal. What more would you take from me?
The Ring of the Lucii.
Ravus tries to take the ring. However,
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire.
Then Nyx and Luna show up to rescue the king, only for him to hit them with an outdated cliche. Is everyone not tired of this bit? When characters who could quite easily survive say, "Go! Save yourself, I must stay here and die." If you've got enough life in you to generate a shield, you can fucking walk. This trope is beyond outdated, it's a goddamn fossil.
It's a dinosaur.
So, we meet again, Buzz Lightyear, for the last time.
Not today, Zurg.
Oh sure, you just risked your life to save us, but we're gonna stand here and waste precious time to watch you die horrifically instead of running away. Very smart. That's a man. Why does the scream sound like Godzilla? You can't deny it fits.
We must get away from here. It is what your king wanted.
Luna's suffering from a bad case of Harry Potter mouth.
He was that friend!
I got you, you're alright. You're okay.
It's fine. We're free. We're free now.
Free?
The Empire. They promised. This district's ours. Meet up with the others. You're the hero of our revolution, brother.
This subplot is the most pointless shit in the movie. You could remove it entirely and the story wouldn't change. It would actually become more cohesive and flow better. I don't see any seatbelts. A car crash like this would mean instant death. We see her head hit the ceiling. With that level of force, her neck would be broken.
Maybe not all miracles are made by magic.
You're right, they're not made by magic. They're written by people who need to justify an excitingly unbelievable car crash without the death of two main characters. Could have just given them seatbelts.
What's so special about this ring? Don't tell me the future's really riding on it.
His mouth didn't move at all during that line. All of the action sequences in this film would have made a pretty good game. Beasts, bugs, robots, storms, explosions, bullet dodging, Dark Souls bosses, car chases, more explosions. Why wasn't this a game? Ooh, drug addiction.
Ulrich reporting! I have the princess. She's alive and well.
Why did he think this was a good idea? To walk out into the open and announce that when his men betrayed him earlier in the film? Do you not learn, boy?
I can't believe you're still moving with that hollow point in you.
Why did that kick sound so squishy? He's wearing armor.
Niflheim took you home. Took all our homes! Nothing will ever change that.
Wow.
The ring. Give it to me. So many dead over so simple a thing.
Did they just rip off Lord of the Rings?
It is a strange fate that we should suffer so much fear and doubt, and for so small a thing.
You can't do that. You can't rip off Lord of the Rings. You just can't.
But why? For what?
Untold power beyond the control of someone like you.
Power?
Hold on. You betrayed your own people for a ring of power, not even knowing it was a ring of power. You just blindly followed yet another leader's orders. Your entire reason for betraying the crown was because you didn't want to follow orders blindly, and yet here you are, following orders blindly again. Dude, she just told you wouldn't be able to control it. Like, come on. How the fuck does that work? I need to watch that again. He's on fire. falling off the balcony, and then she slips the ring off his charred and crumbling hand like it's nothing. That's some level 20 sleight of hand right there. So Libertas mows down the leader of the Glaives, but it's totally fine because he turns out to be the big bad evil guy. Obviously, he's the leader of the Glaives, most of which were traitors. It's kind of obvious and creates a lot of plot holes that I will get to later on.
Next!
I swear to the almighty Thor, this guy's voice acting is just awful. Stop fake shouting, actually shout, make us feel the urgency in your voice, commit to the role, please.
Plan on giving those kings a piece of your mind, princess? You got a destiny to take care of here, remember? Besides, didn't anyone tell you? I'm the hero around here.
Cheesy line, but okay.
He pulls this cheesy line as if we're going to be satisfied to hear him say it. Nobody was rooting for this guy. He's underdeveloped and pretty forgettable. These two-dimensional characters aren't going to provoke even the slightest bit of emotion from an audience. Please stop. So Nyx puts on the ring and goes to the Abyss for judgment. Yay, more courtroom politics. My favorite.
We will weigh your warrior's worth, but our boon does not come cheap. The cost is a life.
To hell with your power! I'm not here for it. I only came to tell you, you are no kings.
If you came here just to trash talk celestial beings, you really do deserve to die. They give him the power with the condition that it fades at dawn, with his life being the price.
I almost forgot. You'll need this. Libertas will take care of you from here. Have a safe journey, Your Highness. I'm counting on you. Hero.
We have no emotional connection to either of these characters. Passing the hero torch, one which was used with disdain for the first half of the movie, doesn't mean anything to us. It's just awkward.
Buckle up, princess.
My life is in your hands.
Unless I decide to jump out of the vehicle whilst it's moving, like I did last time. And so begins the Epic Standoff, which is basically the last 10 minutes of the film. So Nyx summons these statue robot things to fight the demons, but they start wreaking pure, unadulterated havoc upon the city, destroying buildings, throwing giant weapons, and decimating everything in sight to get to the enemy. So much for protecting Insomnia. I get that it's basically empty now, but you could at least attempt to control the carnage.
It isn't who we fight for that matters, only what. We fight for our homes. That is where our allegiance lies.
But you're destroying everything! If you get the ring, sure, you might get the power of the old boys, but you've just totaled Insomnia. To quote a hot blonde,
I am not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
if you're fighting for your home, shouldn't you respect the concept of home? You've already taken down the royalty, now all you're doing is hurting innocent civilians and destroying their houses? Surely someone who's out to fight for their homeland would see how this is wrong. Oop, never mind, sexy robot lady.
Oh my god, Becky, look at her thing.
This shot is actually pretty cool. Glauca on the Decepticon, Nyx on the Autobot, clashing in mid-air.
Ah, such a pitiable waste. All those beautiful city streets, all laid to unsightly ruin.
Yes, exactly. Why do this?
Give me the ring, and our homes will be free again. The Empire has promised it.
Really? You're gonna take the word of Niflheim? You were there when they backstabbed Lucis. You helped them backstab Lucis. They cannot be trusted, and neither can you. How are you this stupid? Anyway, Glauca bounces, somehow knowing where the car would be at that exact moment, and lands in front of it. Yeah, no. The car took him out without a hitch earlier on, but now he's able to resist it. I know he was taken off his guard the first time, but he'd have surely been able to put his foot down, right? Are you kidding me? His face is exposed. Stab him in the fucking face. Why would you stab the armor?
Just keep your foot on the gas!
Somehow he was able to stay on the car that whole time, hit the deck, and then get up perfectly fine to hop back in and drive. No.
I'll be waiting for you, hero.
For the love of Thor, stop calling each other hero. That's one too many hero exchanges, we get it. You have an inside joke.
I told you before, just wanting doesn't win wars.
But that's what you're doing. You want the thing, even though it won't obey anyone but the line of Lucis, or in this case, those who serve it, yet you're gonna fight over it because you want it either for yourself or your new masters. You want the thing. I hate to tell you this, but son, that ain't gonna win no wars. So Glauca catches Nyx by the throat. However, Nyx wins with really basic moves. Could he have not done that sooner? Throw some fireballs, melt the armor, stab the big bad. Why wait until now?
Is it start? I don't feel so good.
We should move. It ain't safe here either.
You can't even say the simplest lines of dialogue in a natural way. Text-to-speech could do a better job than you.
We should move. It ain't safe here either.
Now that's more like it.
We must part ways here. I can hardly travel in secrecy alongside so great a hero.
Let it die! He's a hero, she's a hero, that's a hero. We get it.
And I too have a promise to keep to Nyx. I pray you two see each other again soon.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, you really don't know what you're praying for. He's dead. You're gonna die now. Bye.
Hey, Queen! You and the King are always welcome in Galad. Me and Nyx will be waiting for you.
Again with the fake shouting. Commit to the role, sir! She literally just said she wanted to travel in secrecy, but now she's walking through entire crowds of people dressed like a princess. And even though this entire movie was about protecting this princess, they let her walk off alone at the very end. How does that make sense? And that's it. It just sort of ends. Kind of a cop-out. Imagine just ending your movie at a random point with no... Just kidding, I have more questions. Number 1. What were those pills Libertas was popping throughout the movie? They never addressed it. Pointless information that we didn't need. Number 2. Why didn't they use Phoenix Down on their fallen comrades? It's in the game, why isn't it in the film? Number 3. How did Ravis get the ring off in time to only lose his left arm when this guy was Thanos'd into oblivion? Was Ravis's arm worth as much as that guy's entire being? Number 4. How was Glauca so strong? He was strong enough to get young Regis to flee from battle, and he was strong enough to kill him at a later date. If the Empire can make soldiers that strong, why do they even want or need the ring to begin with? They're already equally, if not more powerful than Lucis. Glauca is just one soldier, and there's only one ring. The Empire could just make thousands of Glaucas. An army of loyal Magitech-powered soldiers would be way more effective than the
Kingsglaive.
Once again, they were winning the war. I get why they want to take over Insomnia for full control of the land, but their desire for the ring makes no sense to me. Number 5. How did Regis not know that Titus was Glauca? Surely he noticed him ducking out to serve the Empire. There's no way he could keep it a secret for that long, especially when he attacked the king in Tenebrae. Did Regis not notice his fighting style? Number 6. Glauca was the Empire's inside man, and he knew that the king was smuggling Noctis out of the city. He's present when Noctis leaves at the start of the game, and he mentions it to Nyx in the car. Why didn't he tell the Empire that the plan had changed? That the prince was leaving Insomnia? That information is pretty important. The whole plan was to kill the king and the prince, take the ring, take the crystal, and overthrow Insomnia. He basically let the prince go for no reason. And last but not least, what lip balm is Luna using? Cause damn! Okay, now I'm done.